Located in the heart of Gilman, and only accessible after defeating Vindicta, Helwyr, Grigorovic, and the Twin Furies, this creature of anima is feared among many. The war in the heart has awoken him, and our final goal before leaving these fresh start worlds is to defeat him. But not just in his weakened state, oh no, but in his full 5-phase boss fight taking place on platforms throughout his arena. This creature's name, Telos.
Unlike many of the other bosses we've faced along the journey, Telos has many mechanics and also an enrage system. I'm going to try and summarise all the mechanics while showing you footage from my kills, climbing from 0% enrage up to 100% enrage, which is our final goal on Fresh Start Worlds. So first off, what is enrage? Well, it's basically a damage multiplier which at certain points adds new attacks and even a new phase when you hit 100%. All of Telos' mechanics follow a set order in each phase which then loops round. Let's have a little look and see what's in phase 1, and we'll try and give you a brief explanation about each one. Throughout most of the fight, Telos attacks with melee, so using Protect or Deflect melee is what I've been doing a lot of the time. Before we go too much into mechanics, one thing I will say with Telos, I use magic. The reason I've been using magic is because magic has a lot of stuns, and stuns are really good at Telos. He's one of the few bosses in the game that you can actually stop from attacking by stunning him. And because all his mechanics are based on how after X amount of auto attacks he does one of them, using stuns is so important. That's one thing I'd recommend. Make sure you've got them all at easily reachable keybinds. It's even better with magic because 2 of them are thresholds, so it's great. And the first mechanic is his tendrils. These tendrils root you in place and heal him until you deal an amount of damage that's written on the screen. Pretty simple to do, to be honest. At a low enrage, you just use a single wild magic or other threshold, and that'll do the job, that'll clear it. Second mechanic to worry about is the uppercut. This is like a charged up hit, and it can be dodged. You just have to use surge or escape at the correct timing, and make sure you actually move while using surge or escape. It's quite hard to describe what the timing is, but you kind of get a feel for it after a few times. The most deadly of the attacks for many is hold still. And this attack stuns you in place, dealing a big chunk of damage, and then Telos comes and jumps on that spot, dealing even more damage. To dodge this attack, it's important to have freedom or anticipate ready to use just before he shouts hold still. This will let you dodge the stun, and if you switch to a shield and resonance, you can get a massive heal. This doesn't just stop the damage, it actually heals you for a percentage of the damage dealt, depending on what tier shield you're using. That's the main mechanics for phase 1. There's only one other thing to be aware of, and that's a green beam that spawns. This will fill Telos' bar at the top, and it'll also give you crazy chunks of adrenaline, so if you're just feeling like firing out thresholds, that's something you could do. Make sure not to let Telos fill it. If Telos fills that bar, he casts a mechanic called So Much Power, which deals a huge chunk of damage. You can resonance it to block the damage, but you won't get a heal. But to be honest, just don't let him fill the bar in P1. What? Uh-oh. Now, once we've done the damage needed to reach phase 2, all of the above mechanics are repeated, and there's only one new one that gets added. This one that gets added is called the Magic Barrage. Now, it lasts as long as Telos has some of his bar available to be used. This bar is again filled by him standing in the beam, the black beam you'll see this time. While he stands in it, Telos takes less damage, and you deal and take less damage, which is great fun. If Telos has been in the beam for a while, and he's casting this Mage Barrage for a good few attacks, it can start to really hurt. One way to block most of this damage is to use Devotion. This cancels it all out as long as you're praying the correct prayer, so Protect or Deflect magic. The order of the mechanics is switched around a bit here, but there's a great spreadsheet that I've linked in the description that can help you learn the order of the fight, because it depends on what the previous mechanic finished to what the new one is. I'm not going to go into that. Now, that's the end of the new things to deal with in phase 2. However, once you reach 50% enrage, you will get a virus attack, which is another new mechanic. This virus hits you repeatedly until you step into the beam. Once you step in the beam, you get a message saying you've been cleansed of the virus, and away you go. Now, moving on to phase 3. Here, Telos switches and actually autos with magic for the entire phase, so make sure to use Deflect Mage. In terms of new mechanics, we have a new beam that spawns. It's a red beam, and while you stand at it, you take and deal greatly increased damage. Telos' bar plays a huge part in how Phase 3 goes. You'll notice it has 2 red zones, one to the left and one to the right. If the indicator is in the left-hand portion, he'll sap your adrenaline and prayer, taking away your ability to deal damage with thresholds and get to ultimates. If the indicator gets to the right-hand portion, that's when you're in trouble.
Oh shit.
With the indicator to the right, you'll be subjected to Telos' shockwave attack. This deals a crazy chunk of damage, but does move the bar back to the left a little bit. How do you stop this bar from filling? The bar fills up if he's stood in the beam, and also by using one of the new mechanics that's introduced in this phase. This mechanic is the anima golems.
Hello there.
He spawns them one at a time, and they have pretty low HP. They're non-aggressive to the player, but will constantly fire little balls at Telos to charge his bar. To stop his bar reaching the dangerous right-hand side, it can be a good idea to kill off these golems. A lot of the time you should be able to manage the bar without this, however, it's an extra layer of safety you can add to the fight. Phase 4, boy, I'd love to tell you what happens here, but to be honest, I don't fully understand it. The uppercut and hold still mechanic are still present in this phase, but there's a few new added challenges. This phase happens on the bottom floor of his arena, and there are 3 fonts spaced equidistantly apart, which will come in very important soon. One new mechanic added to this phase is the mini anima bomb attack. This attack deals a pretty sizable chunk of damage. It can be blocked with resonance. You don't heal from it, and even if you use resonance, it leaves a bleed on you. This bleed reduces your stats every tick and also deals some damage. You can only clear this by standing in one of those fonts that I just mentioned. Now, if that anima bomb sounded bad enough, wait until you hear about the insta-kill bomb. Yep, as the name suggests, if you don't do this mechanic correctly, you just die. This mechanic occurs each time you deal 25% of the phase's total HP. Each time the mechanic's triggered, Telos leaps over to a font, working from the bottom right font clockwise, ending up at the south font, and he begins charging the anima bomb. When he starts charging the bomb, he also spawns some golems to help him in the fight. The red ones, the volcanics, is about as bad as it can get because it can stun and root you. I'd suggest trying to kill this one off as soon as you can because it can be really annoying getting stunned. The pure anima golem deals more damage over the time, and the corrupt will reduce your armor down to 0% if given long enough. It's important to stand inside the font in a good amount of time because this lets you charge up to protect from the anima bomb. If you've stood inside it, you will survive the attack. However, by standing inside it, you take some damage. Basically, I guess the font is giving you the power to survive this anima bomb. However, in the process, it's hurting you. So if you use something like Reflect, that seems pretty good in the fonts because you're taking damage from the golems, you're taking damage from the font. It just stops you losing quite so much HP. You'll see Telos fire the bomb, and once a message comes up saying you survived the anima bomb, you're safe to get back to killing Telos. As I mentioned before in Phase 1, he'll be able to use the so much power mechanic when his bar is fully filled to the right. It does a pretty big chunk of damage, and it can be blocked with some defensive abilities, but at low enrage, using a power burst of vitality to double your HP pool is a good way to avoid death. Once you've dealt with the 3 fonts and have reduced his HP to 0, a kill is complete. However, if you are doing 100% enrage plus, he has a 5th phase where he grows in size and is constantly being powered up by all 3 beams. Now, if you remember rightly, that's the green beam giving adrenaline, the red beam giving damage, the black beam increasing damage reduction. So it's a lot of extra power going on. Throughout this phase, he uses magic attacks, and right at the start, he spawns a random coloured squad of golems. They're all the same colour, but it could be either the corrupt, the pure, or the volcanics. You really don't want the volcanic stun ones, it really sucks. There is a fairly easy setup to clear them all out if you're using magic to using Tsunami. I don't do it quite right in this clip, but you'll see kind of the idea of what's going on. The 3 beams that are constantly firing to Telos can be used to give yourself almost infinite adrenaline if you're in the green one, and with that you'll deal a massive chunk of damage because you can use ultimates like Sunshine, Omnipower, Fire Thresholds, whenever they're off cooldown. But it's also important to pay attention to Telos' bar in this phase, as is kind of a bit of a theme with this fight. Once that bar is full, he will start charging a mega insta-kill bomb. This can only be blocked in 2 ways. One of these is by killing the golems next to their respective font. Kind of wouldn't recommend doing this because it takes you away from damaging Telos himself. I've never really had much luck with it. And another good way to dodge it is either your Sign of Life, or even better, by using Immortality. Immortality blocks up to 999% in rage. Past that, he's actually too strong, it rips through it. But what Immortality does, it allows you to die and then brings you back to life with a good chunk of HP. While all that chaos is going on, he's also casting a strong virus similar to the regular virus mentioned before. It matches one of the 3 beam colours, so you have to pay attention to what colour particles are on your character and run to the right one. And he also starts bringing rocks falling down from the ceiling. These do a big chunk of damage. There's a little indicator before they fall down, but you need to make sure you get out of the way. Okay, that's an anima bomb, which is not good. No, we didn't eat. Why didn't we eat? And where's my... Oh, I used the wrong skill cape. This would explain why I was having some lag issues. No, man, that was so scuffed. Let's hold still. Let's hold still. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah. Wait. Pray Mage, what are you doing? Oh my... I was pressing the wrong button. What was I pressing? Whoa, whoa. When did he get so much bar? Wait, no, mate, no! You know, prayer, chain. Did not just walk out the font. Stuns. No, we're dead. Yeah. Me? Oh, really? So much power again? What? Oh my god. He's so much powered 3 times. We're dead, we can't move. Oh, really? Oh no. That is... Nah, that sucks. Stuns. Yeah, goodbye. Oh no. Yeah, there's nothing I can do there, really, is there? Yeah. Especially as the beam switch to that. Okay, 110% though. And we got red golemed. There's a chance, you know? Why does it not... This button here seems to just not work. Right, Pray Mage. Oh my god, stun golems again. Are you serious? Okay, we killed a lot of them. I'm just getting stunned by them though. It's awful. Wait, what was my... I can't see what my virus is. Oh, it's the black one, of course it is. The worst one it could have been. I haven't stunned him once either. Okay. Not really what I wanted, that one, the damage one, but might be alright. Okay, we're out of food. Stuns. Stuns. Wait. Immortality. We live. We have no food left. You have to do this. You have to run. You have to run. Kill it! Kill him! Go on! One more hit! No, you don't. You dare. Yes! That was so close. That was so close. That was so close. Oh my days, I've done it. Oh. I think that's pretty much all the mechanics covered, and boy, did it take some time to work my way through the kills. Reaching the 50% point was actually fairly simple. I remembered roughly what the mechanics were from a couple of years ago, but pushing up the final 10% and especially having enough food to get the 100% kill was pretty stressful, and you could see at the head with my mouse movements there was a bit of an adrenaline release. And with that 100% kill complete, it brings us to an end of our time in Fresh Start Worlds. A fairly fitting place to end, I must say. This started out as an exploratory mission back into RuneScape and has ended up with me doing a ton. From initially starting getting all the levels, getting the quests done, to complete Plague's End and get to Prifddinas, to unlocking the ancient curses, getting a few 99s along the way, reaching 200 quest points, and taking on the many bosses of Gillinor. I've really enjoyed my time playing, and I'm looking forward to bringing this account into the main game economy. I'm still going to be playing, but on a much more casual level than I have been while Fresh Start Worlds has been taking place. I would expect you'll probably see a progress video maybe once a week, once every couple of weeks. I'll sort of have to see how it goes. And it'll just be little bits of how the account's getting on, what I've been doing, what bosses I've been killing, all that sort of stuff. And there's actually still been a lot of content that's been added in the last 2 years. I need to explore it. God Wars Dungeon 3, Raksha, new quests, and Het's Oasis, to name but a few. Hopefully I'll see you in the future update videos. Have a good one.